Welcome to the Godcast. These videos will not be free after this live. So please, grab your popcorn, grab your pen, and let's get to this money. Welcome, man. And this is Alterri, Henri, man. And we're talking today about saving, okay? A lot of people hit me up all day long, want to talk to me about money. But nobody talks about saving. Okay, you want to save, you want to make money, you want to have money, and all the above. Then we need to learn how to save. We need to really know how to save our money, because saving is the factor of everything. You know, if you're going to learn how to do anything, then saving is a true factor, okay? I tell people like this. I tell my family members, my friends, my children, my wife, learn to live your life off of 60%. Now, it's easier said than done, but I'm telling you, some of you won't be able to buy no Gucci shoes no more. Some of you won't be able to buy no bust-down Rolex watches. Some of you won't be able to buy this and that because you're not living that life, which means you got to go 10 times harder. If you want to be able to afford these things and live that life, you need to go hard in the paint to still be able to do that on a 60% budget. Some of you are living like the Joneses. That's where that terminology come from, living like the Joneses. You're living paycheck to paycheck, and some of you are just living out lavishly foolish. You're making six figures, but you're spending six figures. I heard this saying, and it's a funny saying, but it's real sad. You're making $100,000 a year, but you're living, or you're spending, living like you're making $200,000 a year. Let's say that you're, how they say it, you on a champagne budget with a beer taste or something like that. Or flip it around, whatever. You're on a beer taste with a champagne budget, however you want to word it. Basically, you're living above your means. So we need to tell you how to save 60%, okay? Every check, every dime, every penny, whatever it is you make, you need to take 60%. If you get a check of $1,000, you need to take $400 out that check. Yeah, it may sound crazy. $400. Remember, Uncle Sam is taking more than that. You're getting, some of you are in a taxation bracket of 38%, 40%, 45% if you're in the moving or trucking industry. So you're in a worse tax bracket than that. So at least you can save for yourself and prepare yourself not to pay taxes. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation. Right now, we just talking about saving. You take 40% of your income. You take it out of your check. Okay, for those who believe in tithing and an offering, you're going to take 10%, you're going to put it aside. Even if you don't believe in tithing and offering, 10% gets put aside for to help somebody, to donate to the less fortunate, to help the poor. You may want to feed the homeless on a weekend. Whatever it is, 10% of your fund get put aside. 30% get put aside for holidays, if you celebrate them, for emergency funding, investment funding. Like if you want to take that 30% and put it into IUL, or put that 30% into a brokerage account, or put that 30% into a stock account, or whatever it is, that 30% is going to be put aside for emergencies only and to benefit your life. That 10% is going to be put aside for helping others. I don't care if you get $1,000, you put $100 aside, and every month you give that to somebody you see less fortunate at the bus stop. That's what that's for. And you learn to live your life on 60%. I don't care what you're going through, 60%, which means that if you're in a vehicle and you're paying too much and you know you can't afford it, or you're in a house, maybe you need a downgrade or get you an apartment. Stop trying to live like the Joneses and all these other things and live in the means that you can afford, okay? I'm going to live in what I can afford, not what I cannot afford. So with that being said, 60% of your income. If I'm living on 60% of my income, now I'm living in the category where you still may be above the average, but you're living in a category where there's no stress. You're stress free. Okay, now I'm gonna take that 40%, like you said, uh, and we're gonna do some math. I'm gonna do it low. Now it may seem low, it may not look good on paper to some of you all, but I'm gonna do low and I'm gonna do high. Okay, somebody that has $1 million a year, okay, they may yield by saving, just say 4.5%. Okay, so that means I'll just say 6.5%. That's normal. 6%, 6.5%, 4.5% right now because the interest rates are low. But just say you get them high, and you got 6.5%. That means at the end of that year, at the end of year, and this is year one, end of year, you got. Let me see. This is 60 and a half. So you're looking at $65,000. So at the end of the year, you got $1,065,000. Okay, you just made $65,000 on your $1 million. Now, say for instance, if somebody with 50,000, we'll go low, $50,000, and you got it in a high yielded interest rate bearing account. You got it in an IUL, you got it in a brokerage, a stock. It's your choice. I can't. If you want me to control your money, then put it in my account. I'm gonna show you how to control your money, and I'm gonna issue you a check every month while I make a ton of money off of you. Okay? So this is not to control your money. I'm planning on starting a hedge fund this year, but I don't have a hedge fund yet, so I can't tell you what to do with your money. Okay? All I can tell you is what kind of interest you can get. So just say you got 6.5% on your $50,000. Okay? 5% or 10% of 50,000 is $5,000. So we know that you're gonna be in a ballpark of about probably 6.5%, $3,500. Okay, so at the end of the year, and this is at year one, you're gonna have $53,500 on that money if it's just sitting there. Notice what I said, if it's just sitting there. This is not an IUL. I'm gonna go to that in a minute. But if it's just sitting there, you're gonna get 6.5% on that money, just sitting there. So you had 53. Okay. Say for instance you don't touch that money for year two. Okay, year two. That 53 does now turn into, let me see, that's I'm losing my thought. So now you at year two and you're at 58. Okay, so in 2 years you done made $8,500. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but your money's just sitting there. You're not touching it. Okay, you 8,000. Now every year is going to increase because now you got 6% off of 8,000. By the next year you got 6% off of 10,000. By the next year you got 6%. So you're just moving your way up. So for some of you all, this is how they operate the 401ks. All they're doing is holding your money, and they're gaining interest off your money while you work 20 and 30 years. And at the end of the time, they probably have made a few $1 million off of you, and they're going to turn around and give you a little 401k of 400,000. You happy because you done retired with your 400,000, but they done made 3-4 million off of your money. So this is the same principle, okay? These people are giving you 6%. Some people are going to give you 10%. If you get your IUL, then every 3 years your money going to mature and it can increase by almost double. So, just say you got 50,000 in IUL. In 3 years, you can probably gain about $75,000, $80,000 in an IUL, which means it's backed by an insurance bond. You cannot touch it or you will be penalized. That's the problem. You want to put money in there. This is not a bank account. This is a high yield interest bearing account. You do not touch this. You raise your hand. Yep. Question?
So we got a question.
Okay. So I didn't know we was live. Okay.
So somebody asked, if I have an IUL and I'm putting money into it, and it grows, what is the purpose of having money in there that I can't touch?
For your future. The Bible says a good man stores up treasures for his kids. So it's not for you right now. That's why I say learn to live off of 60%. The rest of that is for your future. It's for your children. That's for emergencies. That's for vacations. That's for everything that doesn't consist of you. So this is for your future. That's why people are broke, because they don't save for their future. They live on everything now. And then they die, and they got to have GoFundMes and sell hot dog plates and everything else for the church to raise money to bury them, because they don't even have burial. I'm going to say this loud and clear to y'all. If you can't afford an IUL, can't afford whole life insurance or whatever, at least go get you a $20,000 burial policy. They're like $9. So at least your family can bury you with the $20,000 policy. Or worst case scenario, like my family, we don't believe in funerals. So I told my wife, just cremate me. Man, you can get cremated for I don't know, $1,500, $2,000, I don't know. So just cremate me. We don't believe in funerals. Cremate me, take my ashes, throw me in the river. You got enough videos and pictures to remember your husband by, and y'all to remember y'all father by. We do videos at home. We have a lot of vacations. So yeah, just cremate me and do that. We not going to have no long drawn out funeral. You watching me in a coffin and all that. No. So if y'all got a $20,000 burial policy and your family cremates you, at least you left your kids with $18,000, and you can build you a trust now. With that $18,000 after burial, you can say what you want in your trust. I want to be cremated after burial. I'm poor. I'm a poor man. I ain't got nothing. So I'm gonna take this $18,000, and you know what I'm gonna do with that in my trust? I'm gonna give them $1,000. I'm gonna give them $2,000 a month for a year. I'm gonna let it run out. Go ahead.
So, what you're saying is that if for $9 a month, roughly, you could leave a little bit of a treasure, a tiny treasure,
small tiny,
but a little bit of a treasure for your children just by investing a little bit.
$9. And the cold-blooded part is that if you instilled enough in your children, if you instilled enough in your child, that 18 grand that you leave for that child could be enough for them to open a business and live a lifetime. If you instill now by building your trust, you got your trust fund, you got your $18,000, you done died and they done buried you, okay? Now you got, they got enough money and they got a trust fund that you done left for them to be protected from the IRS and from the government and everything else, that the vultures that's trying to take the little bit they do have, and they got a little money that's stored up for them. Where, okay, you want to take $2,000 a month, or whatever, you want to take $1,000 a month, whatever it is. It's chump change, yes, but at least they're not left in debt. On top of the fact, the reason why you need a trust, because you need to move everything into the trust. Because remember, just because you died, all that stuff that you owed when you died, like the car that you left that you didn't pay off, or the house that's not paid off, guess what they go after? They go after anything you have left. So when it's set into a trust, they can't touch it, which means your insurance policy, the money and everything that you have goes to your children and actually be utilized by your kids and not by creditors. Because creditors are like vultures. They're going to eat away at your legacy until there's nothing left. They don't care nothing about you dying. They don't care nothing about your kids. They don't care nothing about your wife. All they care about is their money. Banks have no love for you whatsoever. Even though you died, they will dig up your grave if they can. If somebody told them you had a couple of gold coins in your pocket, they would dig up your grave for them gold coins in your pocket and bury you back halfway naked. Go ahead.
So let's talk about dividends then. So what are the type of accounts that you can get where you invest in to where you can get yearly or monthly returns on your investment?
Any kind. You can go to Morgan Stanley. You can go to Fidelity. These are all brokerage firms. You can go to all of these firms and you can invest in your money into these firms, get you some brokerage accounts, or either go get you a stock account, go get you a insurance bond account, and you putting all your money into these accounts and you saving just like a bank. But except, okay, say for instance you used to saving, you're making good money, so you put away. You make about $10,000 a month, so you actually save about $2,000 a month. Well, say for instance you save $1,000 here and $1,000 into your brokerage account. Hey, by the end of the year, you got $12,000 put up into that IUL, and you're constantly putting in there every month. It's growing, and you might have, because you're paying it down, you may have $1 million IUL that you're paying on. You're constantly paying on. Well, guess what? It's nothing overnight. In 3 years, you'll be able to borrow against that. You'll be able to become your own bank. Like what they're doing now with the credit and people asking me for Shell Corporation and all that. Well, in 3 years, you'll be able to go borrow about, just say, $200,000, $300,000 from your IUL. That way, you can build you an investment property, build you a condo or whatever. And what upsets me about people is they want stuff fast. If somebody would tell you that in 3 years you'll be worth $1 million, in 3 years, the question is, would you wait? Would you be patient enough to wait 3 years for that to become a millionaire? And people will say, man, I'm gonna become a millionaire now. You ain't became a millionaire your whole life. Some of you haven't made $100,000 in your lifetime, but we done fooled ourselves that this year is gonna be the year. Every year. Now, let me preach to you a little bit. Whether you know it or not, go to the dictionary, go to the library. Matter of fact, since y'all Google babies, go to Google. And Google has a thing which is called Janus, Janus. Go to Janus. Janus is the demon god of January. It's a demon that has a head facing forward and a head facing backwards that's stuck together. So every time you say, I'm gonna make a New Year's resolution, you're praying to that demon god that's saying that, okay, I'm gonna see your future and your past. That's that demon god. There's no such thing as a New Year's resolution. Make your resolution today. Whatever I'm gonna do it now. I'm not gonna wait till January the 1st, the New Year's as they call it. No such thing as a New Year. That's tradition. That's pagan worship, pagan holidays to a demon god called Janus. So being that now we understand and we know, because the Bible said all you'll get understanding. Now that we know this is a demon god that we worship in, and we're not gonna bow to a false idol or a false image or a false god. Now that we know this, now we're going to deal with things accordingly. We're going to deal with things differently, okay? Now we're going to invest our money properly. We're going to do it now. We're not going to do it later. We're going to invest for our children, our wives. We're going to live over 60%. We're going to begin to invest our stuff wisely. Yeah, you don't understand. You don't have to start off. You know that you can start off, just say, go to Stanley Mortgage or Fidelity and talk to them. And they are so happy about you coming and starting a brokerage account that if you put $1,000 in there, they'll give you $2,000. If you put $1,000 to start your account, they will give you $1,000. So now you got $2,000 in your account that you're starting with. I mean, it's so easy.
Welcome to 300 Plates in Katy, Texas, the ultimate destination for burger aficionados. We're not just about burgers, we're about crafting experiences. Our burgers, masterpieces. Each bite's a symphony of taste, crafted by culinary wizards using top-tier ingredients, Angus beef, buttered and toasted buns. Traditional or daring, our menu's your adventure. Sink your teeth into the nostalgia of our sexy burgers. Join us, where passion meets flavor, and every bite tells a story.
This is Alterri Henry's tip of the day. The key to a successful life is balance. You gotta learn how to balance your life, your checkbook, your finances, your spouse, your children, and most importantly, God. Welcome, man. This is Alterri Henry, man. And I want to give a big shout out to Jay Escobar, man. He just won on our Patreon Live, the biggest one we ever had, man. We had a Patreon Live, man, and like I tell everybody, okay, we are sponsored by Rode, so all of our products is Rode. Okay, so with that being said, we can't use other products. So we bought this brand new, we never used it, and Jay Escobar, you just won it, man. It's a $200 and some item that you can use now. Now you can start your own live, your own Instagram, your own Patreon, your own streaming, whatever you want to do. You got microphones now, brother, and that you can tie into in the whole 9 yards. So just wanted to let you know, we'll be mailing that off to him tomorrow. He won that today on the biggest live we had on Patreon, okay? We went live on Patreon, like I said. We're sponsored by Rode. So all the equipment now, you will see the videos, it's going to be Rode. So we will see your face in the place. Yes, so back with you. So the thing about it is is that you got to learn how to save your money and put it in the right place. This is not the days where we did antique like grandmother did. I mean, we put money behind a picture, or we put it in a jar and we buried it in the ground. Go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if someone has an IUL, right, and they wait for it to mature, they've been paying on it for a while, it's $1 million IUL, wherever the case may be, they can borrow on that money eventually. They do have to pay it back. Mm-hmm. If they borrow,
you don't have to. You don't have to pay an IUL back.
What is the statute of limitations?
There is none. It's just that they're going to take it from your burial. They're going to take that amount of money that you borrowed, and they're going to add on to it because you borrowed from it, and you just like anything else. Now you're going to get taxed with capital gains and interest rates and everything because you borrowed from it. Now, if you put it back, you don't have to worry about none of that. But you borrowed from it, so you're going to pay it back. Okay. You know. But if you pay it back and you add on to it, say for instance I borrowed from my IUL or my brokerage account. Just say I borrowed $100,000. I buy a house for $50,000. I add $50,000 into it to fix it. I flip the house for $180,000. Okay, now I made my $100,000 back. I put that into my IUL. Okay, I pay it back. So I paid it back. I ain't got to pay no taxes, interest, nothing, because that's my money I borrowed against. I own the bank. Okay, so I put that $100,000 back. Remember, I got $80,000 profit. So I take that 80. I'm like, you know what? I want to keep my IUL good, and I really don't. I made this in 2 months. On top of the fact that I'm working and doing whatever, I made this in 2 months. So I'm gonna take 40,000 of this 80. I'm gonna add that to my IUL, and I'm gonna take 40, and I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna go on some vacations. I'm gonna buy me a new car, whatever. That's how you become rich forever, because now you done added 40 more thousand to boost your IUL, plus you already had money in it. You done paid it back. So remember, IULs will have a cap. You borrowed 100,000, you paid it back. He pays back. Okay, next time I need $500,000. Okay, cool, no problem. Boom, you flip that, you pay that back. What's gonna stop them from giving you $5 million? That's how it works. You pay the bank, you show them that you're faithful in a few. The Bible says, if you are faithful in a few, I make you ruler over much. So you show them that you're a faithful steward. Key word is steward of my finances, of my time, of my life. I pay it back. Now when I need something else, it's not a problem. Do you know there's people, and I do mean companies, that borrow $500 million from banks? They borrow $500 million, never touch their money, because they have been doing so much business showing the bank that I'm able to make this type of money, until the bank will put their money up. You got $500 million, you never touch it. I need your $500 million. I want to borrow $500 million. That way, if I lose this $500 million, I can file bankrupt. Yeah, my credit bad on that business, but screw it. I file bankrupt, I do it all over again with a different business. It's been happening every day. I'm not here to show you that side of the law, because I'm not trying to. People are so ignorant. They will purposely bankrupt businesses, steal money, bankrupt businesses, do it over and over again. People are doing it. I'm not here to show you that part. I'm here to show you how to actually be rich and be wealthy and to remain that way. Not from scamming, but from actually living a lifestyle that's pleasing to God. What else?
So if you say you borrow from an IUL, you don't know how to flip houses. You need a house to live in. And instead of paying a mortgage, you pay back into your IUL gradually.
You can do that too.
So there's no loan period when you borrow against your IUL, because it's a whole life policy.
You can do that also, but at the same time, your IUL is not going to grow. It's going to be penalized because you took money from your IUL. How are you going to pay that money back? IUL, when you say you become your own bank, banks, let me explain to y'all how money works. Money works by flowing. The Bible said we should be a river of flowing water. He never said be a lake. So as long as your money is flowing, it's moving, it means that it's growing. If it's sitting still, like in a bank, you have money just sitting still, it's not yielding you no interest. You're not making no money on that money because it's sitting still in a bank. And banks are designed for poor people, not the rich. So if you're not investing back into your IUL, it's not going to benefit you. Matter of fact, if you don't pay it back, you probably never borrow again, because you borrowed and you didn't pay it back, or you're not even showing that you want to pay it back. You just say, well, it's my money. I ain't worried about it. They'll take it from your burial policy. They're not going to hold it against you. But just say you want to flip another house and I need another $100,000. No, you didn't even pay back the first $100,000. So now you make your own stuff a risk factor to your own bank. Don't make sense. So the key is to flip money. When I go to banks, I don't go to banks to hang out with the tellers. I go to banks to deposit or to receive money, which means it's moving. I'm putting money there. I'm putting it into a brokerage account. I'm putting it into a account. I may need it at the ATM. Because I keep a bank account too, a regular bank account. Yes, because you cannot get money from brokerage accounts like that. You have to order your money. It may take me 2 weeks to get some money. So I put it in a bank. You put a little bit in the bank. You may put $50,000, $25,000, whatever, for emergency funds or whatever in a bank account. Yes, but don't put all your money in a bank. So yeah. Any other questions before we go? Okay. So there's so many questions we could ask, and we're going to be talking about this constantly. We just want to touch base with you a little bit on it, just to stir up your brains. Get as many questions as you can. Write it on a piece of paper, because we'll be going live about this stuff. So we need you to constantly tap in and ask questions about your life. We want to make sure that it's live and direct about your life. See ya. Love you.